Welcome to Belief, Being, and Beyond with your host, Granddaughter Crow. Hi, everybody. Granddaughter Crow here with yet another what? We are going to do a segment for you guys. We want to engage with you. We want to answer your questions. We want to be in conversation. So here we go. Conversations, FAQs with a witch and a shaman. Jenny C. Bell, introduce yourself.
Hey witches, I'm Jenny C. Bell. I am an author of Spirit Crystals and of Divergent Witchcraft. Third book coming soon, so it'll be announced here first, so keep staying tuned. I am also the host of a place called Our Coven Community, and that's actually where all of our questions have come from. They are community questions, so I'm very excited for us to answer those. Granddaughter Crow, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Oh, so yeah, they call me Granddaughter Crow. I am born to the Bilagana clan. For the Taachini clan, I am a member of the Navajo Nation as well as Dutch heritage. I am here to inspire, to encourage, and to empower you to be your authenticity. Of course, you see, I have the podcast, right? I also have books. Check me out, www.granddaughtercrow.com. Now, on to the show. So Jenny, ask another question from our Coven community.
Okay, this question says, how do we speak to our guides?
Mm,
And so we might want to define guides, I think.
yeah, yeah. You know, I think that for me, when I think of guides, I think of out of body spirits. I don't know, that sounds weird. Let me try that again. Something that is in the unseen spiritual realm that is here to assist you in this earthly plane. And for me, a lot of that would be ancestors. For me, a lot of that would be the spirit of the natural world.
Hmm.
I have a lot of guides that are of what we would recognize as the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
I get guidance from trees. So they are here embodiment, but the messages are coming through their spirit. And so, and then yet some people have guides as, like I said, the ancestors, but some do angels,
Yeah.
some do people that you've met in past lives, some do deities. So how would you define guides? Because that's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I often think of, so I think that everybody has a spirit guide team, regardless of whether you personally have connected with them or noticed them. And there's this really great movie, I can't remember the name, but it's with Robert Downey Jr. from the 80s. And he's like a little baby, and there's a bus accident, and these random strangers die on the bus, and they all become his guides. And when he's like a little boy, he can see them. They just happened to die when he was born, and they're like random strangers, and they become his guides. He talks to them. Everybody thinks he's crazy. And then he starts to ignore them. And then he becomes an adult, and he's not the best adult, and they're trying to intervene. And so I think if you're looking for like a visual on Spirit Guide team, I think that's such a great movie. Just look up Robert Downey Jr. Spirit Guides. It'll come up. So it's fun to think about. But I think your guides can be literally anything. Spirit crystals is about working with crystal guides. Anything from the natural world, anything that has lived, anything that has been, any being that has been revered or honored. I mean, when I give people Reiki, a lot of times their guides come through. I've had Jesus come through. I've had like Egyptian deities come through. I've had cats that have passed away come through. I've had animals come through. Um, it's really limited by, I think, your own acceptance.
Agreed.
Like it can be really, anything. And even like some people have believe that they have has their soul has experienced other planets, other cosmos, and they'll have like cosmic energy and cosmic guides. I mean, it really is limited to your perception and your acceptance.
I absolutely love that you said that because I often use this term um, when I'm doing a session, and I will say, I invite in the divine as it reveals itself to you.
Yeah.
Meaning that we each have a combo. We each have our lived experience. We each have our knowledge. We each have what we are able to perceive, accept, allow, imagine, whatever it is. And it changes and develops over time. I also agree with that. But it does, it's kind of like, and it doesn't matter, one is not greater than the other.
Right.
You don't have to have a cosmic guide and you don't have to, be able to talk to a tree like I just said. One does not, it's not a hierarchy. It
Yes.
is the way that your friends and allies that open up your heart that are here for you. There's a familiar with it. And that is, and so they sometimes they stay the same. I have, guides that have been with me probably past life, for a very, very long time. And then I have sometimes they come in, reason, season, or a lifetime. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're like, oh, girl, she needs to understand this. We'll walk through this season with her. Why can't she understand this? Send in the big guns, or whatever. And then I have the ones that always are there. And so I think that it also, I agree with you. As they reveal themselves to you, and sometimes they have many shapes, like they may
Yes.
be alien, but they know that you aren't at the place where you can understand alien and you'll reject them. So they come to you like a cat. So they can shapeshift as well. But I definitely agree. I think the key is that guides are here to assist us on our path, especially in this lifetime, trying to balance between the muggle humanity denseness of the third dimension as well as understand higher understanding. They're helpers, they're allies. So that's what I would say a guide is. Um, how do I connect with them?
Yeah, how do you speak? It says, how do you speak to our guides? But I think connect is also a good way to describe that.
I'm going to give just a little statement. You do through word and deed.
Mm.
You do through word and deed. So it's different than sitting down, lighting incense, breath work, meditate, spoke to the guides, done, hung up the phone. Now you're out to your job. It's more or less what you are talking about. You carry them with you in conversation, but not just words. They show you in deeds what you are doing. You connect with them by going, they tell you, hey, go, contact Ginny C. Bell, join our coven community, right? I'm channeling you guys. No, I'm just kidding. But at the end of the day, the conversation ends until you do that, so it's like through action as well as dialogue. It's kind of like, how do you show your loved ones that you love them? How do you connect with them? There's different love languages, so it is not just in what you say and those little times. It's actually you build relationship through how you work with them in your deeds and follow through with that. So that's my little soundbite. You talk to your guides through word and deed. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. And I was thinking too, when I call on them, I say spirit guide, and I do this for other people when I do readings,
Yeah.
spirit guides of highest consciousness, because what I have learned is people that have had of many lifetimes, they pick up sometimes a lot of guides, and some of them are like hitchhikers. They're just there, and they're actually not all that helpful. And sometimes you might have like a new ancestor, someone has crossed over, and they want to be with you, but you don't actually want advice from that person because they actually don't know what they're doing. And so I always say spirit guides of highest consciousness.
I love it.
And because I want the best, strongest of their guides to step forward, because some people have a lot, you know. There's people that'll tell me like I don't have any. Like, no, you have a
Well,
team. And it's really just limited on who you call from or on. And then I agree, it's like seasonal and cyclical. Like you have your guides that are always with you. But for me, like something that, because the guides like to speak back to you. Like you can speak to them through meditation and through words and through writing, but the way they speak back to you is in symbology.
yes.
And so it'll be like a feather on your path, or a tarot card, or the song on the radio, or you keep seeing the same number. You see it on a license plate and on a time, and then someone, it's on your receipt. That's how they speak to you. And they speak to you in your dreams too. So, like, when people say, "Oh, I asked my spirit guides, but they didn't answer," it's like, I think you're just not paying attention. They will answer, they will guide, but you have to like pay attention and look for the answer because they're not going to just, not everybody's clairaudient or clairvoyant where you're going to see an answer or hear an answer. That's really kind of rare. And I need people to kind of put that out of their minds.
Yeah.
Like, don't like just let go of that expectation and just be like, I'm open to the answer however you want to give it to me. And then if you think you did receive the answer, but you're unsure, you can say that. I think you're telling me this.
Yes.
Is that right? And then you can use your cards or another form of divination to try to figure out if that is indeed what you were supposed to, that was the answer that you were seeking or the guidance that you were seeking.
Love that you brought that up, Jenny, because a lot of us in the Western civilization were raised in more of an Abrahamic religion, or a church or a theology, a Christianity, Catholicism, these types of things. And from very young, we were told, do not ask a question,
Yeah.
do what I say. So there's this little bit of a resistance when you hear spirit go, okay, this way, and you're like, is it bad if I ask you? Is that what you said? Do you think I'd be questioning you? And we're here to go ask for confirmations. Ask for confirmations. It is a dialogue. It is a dialogue. And some of your guides can speak your native language, meaning we're speaking English. Some of them do not speak your native language. And so you gotta, but they will give you impressions. They'll give you sensations. They'll give you symbols. They'll talk through numbers, through songs on the radio, and all of that. So I
Yeah.
100% agree. And I also love this idea that we all have guides. So work with them, people. Get to know them. They're your friends on this wonderful playground.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think, like you said, they travel lifetime to lifetime. Not all of them, but some of them. And
yeah,
so they're with you longer than you're here on this in this life.
I agree.
So they really know you.
I agree. And then I would kind of do it just like getting to know your friend, getting to know a teacher, if you will. You ask questions and you learn how they communicate and how you communicate. So it's not, you know, the same for everyone. I know this individual. She she talks to her ancestors and they just are in her face all the time. My ancestors basically sit back and go, well, are you going to F around and find out, or did you want to ask again? My ancestors have a different
Yeah.
personality, and so build the relationship, but be open to it. But also, you can use discernment
Yeah. Use
in
discernment.
that, yeah, in that, do what Jenny said, asking that higher consciousness. And what I like to do is the same thing where I ask for the most beneficial message for this person today. Like the more definition that you put around the conversation or dialogue with the guides, the better it is. And then be able to kind of build that relationship, because some of my guides are like, oy vey, why does and some of them are like, I'll help you, it's okay, so there's different ones for different reasons. And so I love that.
Yeah, and I think the last thing I want to say is I just want to reiterate to not limit your view or your expectation because you just don't know who's with you or who wants to really be the one that comes through the most. When I was writing spirit crystals, obviously I'm working with crystals, but I had Archangel Uriel come through so strong. And then I had a friend do two, actually had two separate readings. One was someone who was learning, and she caught Archangel Uriel come through. And then a friend that I trusted, a trusted psychic, say the same thing. And so there's three of us, like outside confirmation, which by the way, if you have a friend, outside
Yes.
confirmation is another way to see, if this is the right person. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm gonna accept the help, right? Like I gonna accept you being here. You're an angel, of course. Come join me, help me, guide me. The writing of that book was very fast, and I think it's because of the guidance. But yeah, you just never know. You just never know who's gonna come through at all. And you just have to like just let go, not lower your expectation, just let it go as much as you can entirely.
I have one more thing. So, for those of you who, when you were children, had a quote unquote imaginary friend, for me, you're telling me you had a guide.
Yes.
And then what happened was we went through don't say that in public, don't talk to them in public, this conditioning of whatever you would call it, society, I suppose, conditioning of where that belongs and where it doesn't. And so, in a very interesting way, what I would suggest is take yourself back to the innocence of
Yes.
the beginning and realize that you don't have to approach all of them, wholly. But you do need to just play, respect, love, and enjoy, because that's another way to really just connect. And in what I'm saying that talking to your guides isn't something that necessarily needs to be learned, as much as removing the confounds of don't do this. That's the removal of that, releasing those, the what is that, those, I just use the term, those limitations that they tell you, societal limitations,
Construct.
removing constructs, removing those societal constructs, and then return to your innocence, and you're doing it. So,
And what do we always talk about, just the two of us, that
mm,
basically the spiritual path is unlearning and becoming more childlike.
yes,
That's the
Yoda.
key. That's the
Yep,
key. Yeah.
it's Yoda,
Yoda.
it's, yeah, unlearn that conditioning.
Hmm.
So, yay, hope you guys are enjoying. If you would like to join this conversation, write down things below, text the show, email us. Email us at beliefbeingbeyond@gmail.com. We are here to be in community with you. Thank you for listening to another episode of Belief Being and Beyond. Please subscribe and share with whomever would enjoy this podcast. And please leave us a review. We really, really appreciate that. For more about Granddaughter Crow, granddaughtercrow.com. There you can learn about her classes, sessions, and all of her books. And for more about Ginny C. Bell, please visit ginnycbell.com, where you can learn about her books, her classes, and Our Coven community. Thank you so much for listening.